Hey, good morning, it's Owen Bigland. This is the Inside Edge video blog. It's that time of year again where now homeowners are all receiving their 2015 BC tax assessments. So every year at this time I always do a blog. I always get a lot of questions at this time of the year from my clients asking about assessed values. What do they really mean? So I always do a couple-minute blog here every year on tax assessed values. So for 2015, overall, unlike last year, the last couple of years where the values have gone down, this year we're trending the other way. The values are starting to go back up as far as assessed values. So I went into my computer like I always do. I pull out a bunch of homes in Richmond and East Side Vancouver, a few in West Vancouver, just to compare them from year over year. So same thing as the trend we've had for the last decade or more. You know, detached properties are outpacing stratified properties by a pretty big margin. Detached homes, for instance, in West Richmond are probably up anywhere from 5 to 8%. So if your tax assessed value in West Richmond last year was $800, I'm seeing assessed values coming in now at about $875. Condos in Vancouver and Richmond, they're up less, anywhere from 2 to 3%, maybe 4%, depending on where it's at. So they're up as well, but not nearly as much as detached. Now, the thing that I always blog about here with assessed values, keep in mind assessed values are a very ballpark figure on values. All BC Assessment does is put a bunch of numbers into a computer based on recent sales and the lot size if you've got a home, and they crunch a bunch of numbers and spit out a number. Assessed values, for the most part, except maybe in 2012 where we got a little out of whack, the market value is generally much higher than the assessed value. So in other words, if your assessed value this year on your home in Richmond is $850, chances are the market value, depending on what you've done to the home as far as renovations, but even just basic renovations to that type of house, the market value is probably over $1 million. It's probably at $1,050,000. So I'd say 15 to 20% above what the assessed value is would be your market value. Now, the reason for this is quite simple. You can protest or do a review of your assessed value to the city, because as you know, that's how they come up with your property tax numbers. They take your assessed value, multiply it by the tax rate or the mill rate, and that gives you your taxable bill every year on your property tax. Now, the City of Richmond, City of Vancouver are pretty smart. They don't want to get flooded with a whole bunch of homeowners saying that you're assessing my value way too high and I want to review it and I want it brought down. Instead, what they do is they simply take the value and then deduct a nice portion. They're very conservative on what they assess your value at. That way they don't get flooded with a bunch of complaints and reviews, which is going to take a lot of time and a lot of money. So they deliberately keep these values on the low side. And remember, even a few years ago when our assessed values went down, a lot of people were asking me, well, geez, does that mean my taxes are going to go down, my property tax? And of course, the answer to that was no way. All they do is they just raise the mill rate every year. So if the assessed values go down one year, unfortunately, the cost of running a city like Vancouver and Richmond keeps going up. So all they do is up the mill rate to get to where your property tax is owing is going to be. So that's all they do. So in this case, maybe they won't raise the mill rate too much because the property values have all gone up. So it's a give and take thing there. So hope that answers any of your questions. If you've got any specific questions on your property tax or assessed values, you can always give me a call, 604-889-1118. I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have. As always, I'm Owen Bigland. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.